Sairam to you all, dear children. Today I will be discussing with you on separation of substances from mixtures. So, chapter name is titled Separation of Substances from Mixtures. Okay. So now, class 6, subject science, part 1 and chapter 5. Now we will be going to know about the meaning of mixtures. What do we mean by mixtures? When two or more substances combine physically, mixture is obtained. In mixtures, the properties of the original substances remain the same. For example, the sugar solution has the sweet taste of sugar. So when two or more substances combine physically, mixture is obtained. Okay. So when two or more substances are combined, or when two or more substances combine together physically, mixture is obtained. Now let us take, for example, sugar and water. How does the sugar taste? Sugar tastes sweet, isn't it? And what is the taste of water? How does water taste? Water is tasteless, isn't it? Water is used, a potable water, which means drinking water. Potable means drinking. Drinking water is used to quench thirst. So now what we will be doing is, say suppose we mix or if we add sugar to water, what will happen is sugar thoroughly gets mixed up with water, resulting in the formation of sugar solution or sugar syrup, or a sweet syrup for that matter, which we normally use during festivals to prepare one or the other sweets, isn't it? It is a syrup format. Okay. So when we just take an ounce of this sugar solution, how does it taste? It tastes sweet, isn't it? So sugar added to water results in the formation of sugar solution, which in its entirety tastes sweet. But sugar by itself is sweet and water by itself is tasteless. It doesn't have any taste. So what do we mean by this? When two or more substances combine physically, mixture is formed. So that means sugar solution is a mixture of both sugar as well as water, sugar and water. So when two or more substances combine physically, a mixture is formed or is obtained. A mixture is obtained. So when we add sugar to water, a mixture of sugar and water is obtained. In mixtures, the properties of the original substances remain the same. That's what I explained to you. When sugar is added to water, it results in the formation of sugar solution, which is a mixture, and this mixture tastes sweet. But the properties of the original substances remain the same. Here what are the two original substances? Sugar is one substance and water is another substance. So the properties of sugar remain the same, so much so the properties of water also remain the same. So that means the properties of sugar is different from the properties of water. Sugar is sweet, water is tasteless. Okay, so that is the meaning. Now let us go ahead. Let us proceed. Now water present in sugar solution can be evaporated. So water present in sugar solution can be evaporated, and then substances present in any mixture can be separated by simple physical method. So substances present in any mixture can be separated by simple physical method. Right? Now, some examples of separating substances of mixtures in our daily activities are, see, these are some of the methods of separation. First one, see, your mother cleanses the rice by separating husk, mud particles in it before cooking. Right? Before cooking, what do our mothers do? First, they remove all the impurities, so to say, husk and mud particles from them by hand. Right? So these are all not useful for consumption. So what our mothers do? They clean the rice by separating husk, mud particles in it before cooking. Then, when your father brings vegetables and fruits, you help him to separate them, isn't it? Definitely we separate fruits from vegetables. Now, why do we need to separate mixtures? So we need to separate mixtures only to ensure that what is that we require. That means to say which is of use only we take, and those that are not useful we have to just throw them off. That is the reason why we need to separate the mixtures. Separate the substances contained in the mixture. So that means we need to get rid of the impurities that are contained in mixtures. Then, to use the substances of a mixture separately. So we need to use the substances contained in a mixture separately. So these are some of the reasons why we need to separate the substances in mixture. Okay. Now, next, methods of separation of mixtures. So there are different methods of separating the substances in a mixture. First one is hand picking. So what we do, see, when we go to a grocer and get rice or dal, what do we normally do? We first cleanse them, isn't it? How? We remove all the small pieces of stones or other grains contained in rice or dal. Right? Then we remove all these impurities with our hand, whereby we get clean rice or dal. So this method of separation is called hand picking. So just by removing all the impurities, so to say, unwanted grains and other things, minute particles, we get cleaned rice or dal. So we use our hands, and this method of separating the impurities contained in rice or dal is called hand picking. Okay, and then this method is used to separate slightly large sized substances present in small quantities in a mixture. Okay, now let us go to, and here you just see the picture wherein we notice our mother or whoever is cleaning the rice. Okay, now this is hand picking. This is a picture of hand picking. Then next method of separating the mixture is threshing. What do we mean by threshing? Let us understand it in detail. Can a farmer separate ragi, paddy, wheat or other grains from their stalks by hand? Is it possible by a farmer to separate paddy, wheat, ragi or other grains from their stalks by hand? Is it possible to separate ragi, wheat or paddy from their stalks by hand? Is it really possible? Stalks. First, let us understand the meaning of stalks. Stalks are usually, a thin, long grass sort of a thing, wherein you find the stems to which ragi grains or paddy or whatever, or any other grain is sticking, right? So it is time consuming to pluck each grain one by one. It is really an Herculean task. It is an uphill task. So what do the farmers do? the farmers beat the stalks on a hard surface. So the farmers beat the stalks on a hard surface. As a result, the grains will be separated. So as a result, the grains will be separated. This method of separation is called threshing. So let us understand this. I'll again tell the same thing for you so that there should not be any confusion. The second method of separating the mixtures is threshing. A farmer separates the grains, so to say wheat, paddy or ragi, from the stalks by beating the stalks on a hard surface, and this results the grain and as a result this the grains will be separated. They get separated. As a result, what happens is by beating the stalks on a hard surface, the grains get separated, and this method of separation is called threshing. And here is a picture of a farmer who is separating the grains by using the method of threshing. Are you all able to see this picture? Okay. Now, let us summarize the entire video. So, first point, when two or more substances combine physically, mixture is obtained, which I have already explained to you. So when two or more substances combine, a mixture is formed, isn't it? Say for example, let us take salt and water, or sugar and milk. Sugar and milk, again that is a mixture, right? Then second point, properties of substances remain the same. So when we add sugar to milk, what happens is the different substances, so to say sugar and milk, retain their original properties when they are separated. Sugar is sugar, the properties of sugar is sweet, whereas milk, only when we add sugar to milk it tastes sweet. Okay, so properties are different, but when they combine together, then the entire solution tastes sweet. That is point number 2. Then third point, we separate substances of mixtures in order to what? In order to have only useful things and remove all the unwanted or waste matter contained in a mixture. Second one, to get rid of all the impurities, that is waste matter. Then third point is to use substances of mixture separately. So for example, say at some point of time, say for example sugar and water. Let us take this as an example. Now sugar and water, they are combined together to form a sugar solution. And say at some point of time, there is only sugar solution, no water is available, but water is very much required. Only water, not the sugar solution. So what we have to do? We have to separate sugar from water so as to obtain water for consumption. Right? That is the meaning. That is the meaning of the third point. To use substances of mixture separately. Sometimes we need to use them separately also. Okay. Then summary is continued. Methods of separation of mixtures. As discussed, here we are just summarizing a whole thing. In the sense, we are summarizing the methods of separation. The first one is hand picking. The method of removing the impurities by hand is called hand picking. Then point 2 is threshing. Farmers separate ragi, paddy, wheat and other grains by beating the stalks on a hard surface. As a result, the grains will be separated. So this method is called threshing. Right? Now, there are a few questions relating to this video. The questions are: question number 1, what are mixtures? Give examples. So here you have to tell what do you mean by a mixture? What is a mixture? And give some examples of your own. Try to give some examples of your own. Just do not blindly copy what I have told you. Then second one, is there a need to separate mixture? If yes, why? Yeah. So if your answer is yes, you have to explain why you need to separate mixture. Then third question, give 2 examples of separating substances of mixtures in our daily life. Any 2 examples you can give as to how you separate substances of mixtures in daily life. Any 2 examples you may give. And the fourth question is, explain in detail the 2 methods of separating substances of mixture. So today we have discussed in detail the 2 methods of separating substances of mixture. So what are those 2 methods? One is hand picking, the other one is threshing, isn't it? So now you have to elaborate on that. Okay. So with this I am going to conclude part 1 of this chapter, and in the next session I will be discussing with you many other methods of separating substances from mixture. Okay. So saying, have a good day, study well, answer them. I want you all to answer the 4 questions. I don't want to hear any excuses from any one of you. Jai Sai Ram.